Okay, Gormagot. I just would like to recommend to everybody to read the executive summary of the Barnes report from the UK. I have it here in front of me. It's extremely interesting, and rather than go through the list of the evidence that they found where there's alleviation or potential alleviation from a whole plethora of problems, medical problems, psychotic problems, etc., that cannabis may and does help in, I've asked Gino to put this summary up on his website, so people should check it out. It's been really interesting over the last few weeks to see the response in this House to this bill. And I have to say, at this stage, Gino probably knows more deputies than any deputy knows deputies, because everywhere we go, and I go for lunch with Gino frequently, Gino, can I have a word with you? Gino, can I talk to you? Gino. All of the deputies are stopping him, asking him, congratulating him, and really kind of excited that we're getting to a point where there's something that we're all interested in, have common ground in, and will actually do a lot of good for people in all of our constituencies. I just want to, though, say to Dr Harty that although you're the really only dissenting voice here tonight, you've been very honest about expressing your concerns, and I note in the Minister's opening remarks he said that there are many doctors who would be cautious about this, and indeed there are many doctors, and Dr Harty is one of them. Kate O'Connell expresses some caution as a pharmacist, and that's going to be around the place, but there is also many doctors and many medical people who are quite excited about the potential of this as well. And I just want to address the concerns about gateway drugs, because this has always been used to say that if you allow any little bit of cannabis to be legal in society, then that's just, you know, go ahead, everybody go get stoned, have a great time, don't worry about it, it'll all be legal in no time. Well, actually, I think in this particular case we have to be careful about framing it in that way, because it's very clear from the bill that this is not about a Trojan horse for a gateway drug to the legalisation of cannabis. But I would say this to you. When I was a young one, I smoked cannabis and still do occasionally, but I was never addicted to cannabis. What I got addicted to, which could have killed me, it killed my father, was tobacco, and it kills hundreds of people in this country every week. And I think that sometimes we look at drugs and the problem of illegality drugs as there's the things that are always been legal that you get high on and all the rest of it, and then there's the legal ones like tobacco and alcohol, which are totally legal, advertised and promoted, or at least tobacco had been in the past, and that doesn't seem to be a problem with society. So I just want to say to you that gateway drugs, the biggest gateway drug for people who smoke cannabis is tobacco, and one of the biggest killers. And that is why in the bill, when you refer to it, Dr Harty, about the smoking in the workplace, that was put in there because it is not recommended that people who take cannabis for medicinal purposes should smoke it. But if some patients do, what we have to guard against is that they don't allow for passive smoking in areas like workplaces, and the same applies in the same measure to vaping as a method of taking cannabis. I just want to read the first paragraph of the report, because it's really interesting, and it describes how the human brain and other organs in our body naturally contain cannabinoid receptors, as well as chemicals which bind to those receptors, and that a range of important natural functions, including the modulation of pain, the control of movement, the protection of nerve cells, a role in brain adaptability, and in various metabolic and immune and inflammatory processes, are in us naturally. And what THC and CBD does is it mimics the effects of the human natural system and exaggerates them and helps to stimulate them. And therefore, that's why it alleviates spasmodic episodes and pain and nervousness and helps people relax, etc. So it's a very, very efficient drug. And when you look at the list of complaints and ailments that it can help, I think that probably Big Pharma would worry about this, because if you take somebody like Ava or George's granddaughter, Ellie George is here from Ballyfermot and is dying to get his hands on this for his granddaughter Ellie, who also suffers from severe fits, you would be probably within a matter of months, and hopefully this would be the case, to be able to dispense with a lot of more poisonous and harmful drugs, such as opiates and benzos and all of that other chemicals that we constantly have to put into our bodies to relieve the symptoms of cancer and fits and all the rest of it. And I have a friend, and her husband is in the chamber here today, who has been taking cannabis treatment over the last few months to alleviate the effects of radiotherapy on her body. And it's remarkable to see the difference. I mean, honest to God, it is so remarkable to see the difference over a matter of weeks, to the relief that she's getting and the change in her body, and the fact that she's able to sleep and eat better. I think these are very, very important things, and it's a big issue in working class areas. We've been doing public meetings and campaigning on this in our constituencies, and people in working class areas are aware of it. They've been researching it themselves on the internet. And I know it's not sufficient for us to pass legislation on that, and hence the bill, and hence the question of going through the proper processes here in the Dáil. But nevertheless, it is going to be an amazing breakthrough for us if we're able to get this through in society. And I don't think it should be just about the very, very tough cases, but it should be about the multiple sufferers from cancer and MS and Parkinson's, and there's so many people that can benefit from it. I'd like to summarise by saying, when I was a young one, I was big into reggae, and it always sticks in my brain Peter Tosh's song "Legalise Marijuana is the only cure for glaucoma," and that's all he talked about was glaucoma. But look at the list of stuff that marijuana, the product, the THC and the CBD, if it's part of a medicinal treatment, the list of alleviation that it can give to humanity, to finally make a small contribution. For us, at the end game for us is to create a better and more pain-free society for everybody, and this is a small contribution on that road. And congratulations to Gino and to everybody up here for coming and for sticking with us, and don't go away because we haven't got it through yet.